Hey guys, it's Bobby and welcome back to the channel. So at the time of making this video, it is January 10th and that means New Year's resolutions have begun. I found it interesting that almost every personal finance blog and website I follow listed paying off credit card debt as one of the top 3 New Year's resolutions for 2021. So on that note, I thought I'd make a quick video breaking down 2 of the most popular and effective debt repayment strategies out there that should help you save more money and interest and overall keep you motivated and committed to paying off all your debt. But before we dive into what those 2 methods are, I have a couple general debt repayment guidelines I think you should be aware of before using either one of these 2 repayment strategies. Number 1, you're going to want to focus your time and energy on debt that has an interest rate of 4.5% or higher. Now, although a 4.5% interest rate is definitely on the lower end, I'd still prioritize this and anything above it and just pay it off as quickly as possible. Now, if the interest rate is below 4.5%, I would just chill and make the minimum payment each month. Instead of making extra payments on the debt, logically speaking, if the interest rate is below 4.5%, you'd be better off just investing that money into something that will generate a higher return. For example, if you have a car loan with a 4% interest rate and you're invested in the S&P 500, which gives you an average 8% return on your money, it would make more sense to just park your money in the S&P 500 rather than making an additional payment on the car loan because you're generating higher returns than the interest you owe. 8% is bigger than 4%. To make this really easy, all you have to remember is this. If you can invest the money at a higher return than the interest rate on the debt and it's below 4.5% interest rate, just make the minimum monthly payment and invest the money instead. And finally, the last guideline is to just remember that paying off debt is literally a guaranteed return on your money. So many people are obsessed with the FOMO and investing and trying to pick individual stocks that'll beat the market, which 99% of people can't do anyway. And they don't realize a lot of times if they have credit card debt, that is the easiest 20% plus return sitting right in front of them with virtually no risk. So just always remember that if you're struggling to get yourself motivated to paying off high interest debt versus investing. But with that said, let's get started with method 1, the Avalanche method. Now, the Avalanche method is the approach I would recommend if you have the willpower because mathematically it's going to save you the most money because you're paying down the debts with the highest interest rate first. So to make this easy, what I used to do was just open up an Excel sheet, line up all my debt with the attached interest rate, and sort it from highest to lowest. Don't pay attention to how much you owe or the current balance. It doesn't matter in this method. All we look at is the interest rate. Once you have that sorted, start at the top and contribute as much as you can each month to that specific debt with the highest interest while simply making the minimum payment on all the other ones. Once you knock out that first one, cross it off, give yourself a pat on the back and move to the next one and repeat this process until you get through all the debt. And that's pretty much the Avalanche method. It's pretty simple. Again, mathematically, this approach is going to save you the most money on interest and ultimately enable you to pay off your debt faster. Now, on the flip side, if you're someone that really needs to see quick wins to stay motivated and you already have doubts of committing to staying the course of paying off all your debt, then look into the Snowball Method. This is method 2. Rather than prioritizing the interest rate like we did in the previous approach, the Snowball Method prioritizes your balances. So you pay off your debts from smallest balance to largest balance, regardless of the interest rate. So if we were to use the same example as before, just go back to that Excel sheet. You could remove your interest rate column and add back your total balance column and just sort from lowest balance to highest balance. And each month, again, contribute as much as you can toward the debt on the top of your sheet there until it's paid off completely, and you just continue to repeat that process until you clear off all the debt. But obviously, as you can imagine, you're going to be able to pay off that $200 credit card way faster than your $5,000 credit card. So psychologically, it's going to make you feel good about yourself and almost feel like you're paying off the debt quicker because you're knocking out those smaller balances first and crossing them off the list. So all in all, I think it's a good method to help you stay motivated and get those quick wins to help you keep going all the way to the finish line. Just remember, at the end of the day, you will pay more in interest with the Snowball Method, but if it's gonna help you stay committed to paying off all your debt, then it's definitely worth it. But overall, I think they are both great methods. I think someone who is more numbers oriented is gonna probably benefit more from using the Avalanche approach, while I think someone who is a little bit more emotional would benefit from the Snowball Method. You could also get creative and look into potentially using the Avalanche and Snowball Method together. For example, maybe you have a couple smaller $200, $300 credit card balances. Maybe you decide to start with the Snowball Method to just quickly knock out those smaller balances first, and then you could shift to the Avalanche method for the 4 other remaining debts, where you would return to focusing on paying the highest interest rate first. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. But that's it, guys. That's all I got today. If you found this helpful, make sure you like the video and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. I post new videos on personal finance every single Monday. But thanks again for watching, and hope to see you next time.